Hello, Claus with a description of reality that is actually very accurate, and yours is not. Because the default experience of reality that we have in this area of life is always inaccurate. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about how we think we develop. You know, there's a reason why you're watching this video. It's because you want something, right? And in our pursuit of what we want, we have certain assumptions about when we will achieve it, how hard it's going to be, and how our path to that goal or that thing we want to achieve is. And that is completely wrong. So let's see if we can harmonize our expectations with reality so we avoid getting frustrated and angry all the time or hopeless inside. But before I go on and mark this whole thing out for you, please subscribe to this channel and go download our free course by clicking the link below here. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the fact that if we look at how we most often expect things to happen, it's like, okay, say I'm going on a diet, I want to lose weight or I want to lose fat. And I'm starting here, and then I do X, and then I achieve some kind of result, right? And so I go for a run and every day or whatever, and I, decrease my intake. And then, gradually I lose weight. And so I get what it is that I want up here. Or I start saving and then gradually I go to my goal in a straight line, doing the same things over and over again will produce that result. Or it might be something completely different. You're starting a business and you're trying to make it happen and you do all the right things and so on. And we expect things to go like that. But it doesn't. It goes like this, and then we're succeeding. No, we're not. All the way. And this goes for weight loss. It goes for everything, personal development, whatever you want to change or achieve. This is the development, right? And so, what is actually going on here? Because this makes us intolerably frustrated, and that's why most people give up. Because they look at this and say, oh, why bother anyway? Every time we're in a slope here or in a valley, right? We go like, oh, this is such a letdown. I did all the right things. I did the same thing I did last week, but I didn't lose as much weight or I didn't achieve what I wanted, right? Nothing happened. And so we give up. And most people can't take, many of these letdowns or slopes here. So most people don't achieve what they want. But what is actually going on is that any development in nature, with human beings, with everything, follows the exponential growth curve. And that goes like this. And if you want to learn something like play guitar or learn a new language, you learn one little entity at a time, one word here and then one word there, in Spanish, for instance, right? And as you build more words, it's very slow. And after, several months, you still feel like an absolute beginner because you can't even speak to anyone because you're missing words. But as you add words to words, it goes faster and faster. You can understand more things. You can suddenly, this is the beginning, right? You can certainly start to talk a little bit and understand more from movies, which enables you to put two and two together when you hear the same word over and over again in a context, and suddenly you learn ultra fast, right? If you stay in there, and that's the exponential growth curve. It goes like that. This looks like watching the grass grow because it's 2 + 2 is 4, that big deal, right? Let's say you want to become a millionaire and you put money aside, right? 2 + 2 is 4, yoo-hoo. 4 + 4 is 8. It's still double, right? Oh, yeah, so $8, yoo-hoo. 16, double, 32, double. We're still not impressed, right? We want 1 million or 1 billion for that matter, right? So we just watch this and we go, oh, this is not impressive. But actually what is going on down here is a doubling of what you do all the time, or, dividends, interest on top of interest, and suddenly it explodes. Every single one who ever tried to achieve anything and succeeded will say that this is how it happens. You struggle, and then suddenly it happens. But what is the struggle really? If you're doubling, if you're getting results all the time, then why is there a struggle? Because of this. Because of this illusion of the straight line. Right? We struggle, we try to put a foot in, I didn't get the results, and there's always this gap up to our expectations of what should happen. But and this is, by the way, the midsection of the brain, the lower parts of the brain that has this, okay, I do X, I get Y, right? This leads to that. So let's do it. And then, I get what I want. But that's not how the world works. And only the frontal lobes, the reason why you have such a big head compared to monkeys, is only those are able to be more intelligent and look at reality and say, what's actually going on here? Oh, this is going on everywhere, right? Cells double all the time. Human beings grow in the womb like that, right? Everything, the stock market, every business that has success. If you read books by Jim, I can't even remember his name now, but try to include that perhaps in the comment. Jim something, who wrote From Good to Great, is all a study of businesses that does this, right? That suddenly, boom, does this. And this here is what people look at is, oh, what a great idea they got. Oh, that's amazing. Just look at that explosion. But they don't see this, right? And this is the silent, just building, grinding. And if you expect this and to know this, you can look for the signs that you're actually producing exponential growth. If you expect this, which most people do, then you'll be constantly frustrated. But that's not the only thing that frustrates you, because if you could take a microscope and look at this down here, this long walk through the valley of the right? The debt, the struggle. If you could look at that and we kind of say, okay, let's imagine that we look closer into this curve here. It's not even a straight line. The beginning before the hockey stick effect, the momentum effect, right? Where everything just seems easier suddenly, right? Is that it goes like this. Up and down, plateaus, which are really frustrating, doing the same thing you usually do. You're trying to learn something, you're trying to build wealth, you're trying to build your business, and nothing happens. But you did the same thing you did right there, where a lot of things happened, and then, after that plateau, you go down, right? The world is chaos, apparently, but not obviously, because what happens here is that if you expect the straight line, you'll get constantly frustrated. So you're setting yourself up for frustration every time you say, I want something else than most people got, or that I usually get, because I have to do new things. And once you start doing new things, you get varying degrees of results. But in the long term, you have to look for whether or not you're actually building exponential growth. And that's hard. It can be a hard thing to say, am I really developing? Right? And sometimes you have to trust, right? When you're building an internet business, for that matter, right? In the beginning, you have no money, right? You just left your job, perhaps, or you're still having a job, and you got no money for advertising. So you have to sit and contact people yourself, see if you can get new YouTube subscribers. And it just seems like it's impossible. It goes so slow, right? Then once you get to the other side of it, you have money for advertising suddenly. And things are really easy now. What used to take you 5 years now takes like 5 weeks, right? It's just amazing how it looks on the other side of the exponential growth curve. But you could look at this as a test, really, right? Because that's the reason why most people never go through that and change anything, because this is change, that exponential growth curve. And it's simply because it's like watching the grass grow, and you have to trust in yourself and keep moving, and you get disappointed, you get stuck on plateaus, all kinds of crap happens, right? But you have to just push through that. But don't be stupid. Don't say, yeah, I've been working on this for 15 years. I haven't got even a smidge of results, but I guess I'm just watching the grass grow, right? I guess I'm just, you have to look for those results, but you have to look closer, right? You have to look for those doubling, what have I really achieved over the last 5 years or the last 12 months, for instance, right? And instead of just getting used to your results all the time so you don't see them, you can actually write them down. You can take pictures, you can do videos, you can measure, you can go back in your bank account, you can go back to the measurements of whatever weight you had 1 year ago. And if you actually gained weight, even though you tried to lose weight over the year, you might look at the things you learned, as you went through the 12 months and say, I'm so much better geared now for losing weight, right? You have to look for the improvements and be intelligent about it. But the main benefit from watching this video again and again or listening to it is that you align your brain with actual reality instead of doing the monkey thing, which is believing that everything should go in a straight line. It never does. See you in the next video.